not my priority, then whose priority is married? So it's like, keep it moving. They're so used to me being no problem.
Only ring your celly when I'm feeling lonely. When it's all over, please get up and leave. Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee, because you only want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair, there's only a fear that you'll find me ugly.
Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Crystal and it has been a minute. So basically y'all, I just want to start off very raw, very real. Your girl has been in a slump and I decided and have determined that I have to get over it. I have to get over it. I have to get back to living my life. I can't sit here and be a sad girl. So anyway, with that being said, tonight we are headed out, but I figured it would be perfect to start recording because if I'm honest, I have been having a hard time figuring out and navigating when I was going to come back on here, because it's kind of like a friend that you haven't talked to in a minute and it's like, dang, I haven't talked to them in a minute. It's awkward to call them, just pop up and be like, hey girl, what's tea? But that's what I have to do because I miss y'all. I miss the channel. I miss sharing my little life. And so yeah, that is why I've just popped up on y'all today. I can't find my foundation, so that is stressing me out, but I haven't worn foundation in like 2 to 3 months, so I'm not shocked. But now I'm like, I really wanted to do like a full face and that's not gonna happen because I don't have foundation, so I'm not the most happy about that, but whatever. And 1 second y'all, I'm about to go grab some water and I will BRB. Okay, I'm back y'all. So the last time y'all saw me, my cousin and her kids were still staying with me. I was working out, work was difficult, and since that a lot has happened. And that's also what made it kind of tricky, y'all, is that some of the things that happened, I could not get on the internet and discuss it like I would want to, because obviously, first of all, it involved family, it involved my career, and those are things that clearly, like, this is the internet, you feel me? And it left me in a really weird limbo where it's like, I'm one of those people, like, I hate when somebody, this is an example of it. So, you know how girls or women will have a partner, but they, like, post a photo of the partner, but put the emoji over the man's face. For me, I feel like it was like that. Like, okay, I know I can't share what I want to share to the full extent, but I also don't want to come on here and be like skirting around it, because I just feel like it's weird. It's like, clearly you want us to see, clearly you want to talk about it. Either talk about it or don't. Like, this is going on the internet, and that means that you have to realistically remember that, like, anybody could see this, and it's not even like people outside of my real life, it's people inside my real life. I feel like where I messed up was telling people that I know in real life about the channel. And that kind of like has shifted the way that I view what I discuss. It just makes me more aware. But let's get into basically what's been going on. First of all, my cousin and her kids moved out. I can't speak too much on that. You know, I'm grateful that we got to spend that time together, and that, you know, it's an experience that I got to have with her and her kids. It really is a blessing because, like I think I said in the previous video, you know, we had never lived together as adults or anything, so it was cool to experience that. With work, things have definitely gotten better, and not even that the situation with the person who I was having issues with has gotten better. It's the fact that I just had to change my perspective on it, because the bottom line is that, you know, it's work. I have to work with this person. They're probably not going to change their behavior, and I have to decide either I'm going to escalate it to the appropriate parties, or I'm going to just kind of, you know, shift my perspective on it. And I decided, after a long thought process, I definitely had like some rough months, which is another thing, you know, working a full-time job, it's a big part of your life, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even in the office that much, y'all. I'm in the office only 20 hours a week, but still that 20 hours felt like 60. So I couldn't come and talk to y'all about what was going on, so it made it just awkward and uncomfortable. And I didn't want to pick up the camera because it's like, I'm coming home from work, I'm drained. I had to fight for my life to even make it through my work day, you feel me? Like, I don't want to talk about it. One thing I've been super blessed with too, that I realized because of all this, is that I've never worked somewhere where I had like static or issues with my coworkers. If it was something that was very petty, very small, it was resolved. Like most of my coworkers today, I could text them and be like, hey, let's go to happy hour. And they're like, girl, what's up? When do you want to schedule? Like, that's kind of how it's always been. So to have a different dynamic is definitely a little weird for me. And it's something that I'm having to like figure out and work through. And it was hard for me at first. Now I think I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, it just is what it is. You feel me? Like, that's what it's gonna be. And I have to accept it and move forward. But initially I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is so bizarre, you know? And it was really impacting me. But now I'm like, okay, it's fine. That's just what the reality of the situation is. And I'm grateful for that. So work has been a lot better. Y'all, we moved buildings. I can't wait to show y'all my new building. Or no, my new office. But y'all know I don't go to work tomorrow. So y'all will see it on Monday in the next video. But yeah, super freaking pumped about that. Oh my gosh, I just got this all in my dang mouth. So that's one of the reasons that, y'all, I was away. I just want to make that clear. It was definitely the work situation and just, you know, just processing through that difficult time. Now, let's talk about some of the other reasons that I was away. And this is going to be a little bit about me. I'm going to be very transparent, y'all, very honest. One thing for me that has always been a struggle, guys, is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries, putting myself first, and prioritizing what I need or want over other people, their needs and wants. I am in some ways am like a very big people pleaser, and that is something that you have to actively unlearn. You have to actively unlearn how to like not care that you're disappointing somebody else or that you're impacting somebody else by saying no. And I think for the longest time, I have really been a yes man in certain situations. And I am just fully realizing how much that is not serving me. And how much it's draining me. That's another thing. Like, not even beyond the not serving me, it is draining me. To have situations where I am just saying yes to appease somebody else. Saying yes because I believe it's my obligation and duty. Saying yes because I don't want to let people down. And it's gotten to the point where I'm really realizing that, like, I'm not helping anybody by doing that for several reasons. First of all, I'm not helping myself. It's draining me. Second of all, it's not fair to the person, because then at a certain point I become resentful. I become resentful because I've sacrificed or said yes so much that now I'm like annoyed, you know. And also, anybody that's a people pleaser kind of knows that, like, once you start saying yes to people, they start asking for a lot more. And the reason is because they know you're gonna say yes. So it becomes more frequent what they ask you. It becomes more elevated what they're asking you for. It just becomes a whole thing. And it took me 30 years to learn this and to realize this. That, like, okay, yo, like, the only thing that's gonna happen, this person's never gonna stop asking me. They're never gonna stop coming to me and expecting for me to say yes. All that's gonna happen is that they're gonna start asking more frequently. The requests are gonna be more and more crazy. And they're gonna be more and more manipulative. Or not manipulative, I don't wanna say that word, that's dramatic. They're gonna be more and more insistent and expectant when they come to you asking, because they're used to you saying yes. So whenever you simply, the first time you say no, it's like, wait a second, what? No, I really need you to do it. And it's like you having to say no. And because they're not used to that, they don't respect the boundaries. So they push and they push. And for a long time, I was saying the first no, but then when the push came, I would give in. And that's with all my relationships. I think it's with friendships, it's with family, it's in romantic relationships where it's like, I did not hold my line of my boundary, and it cost me. It cost me in the sense of, like, my peace of mind, you know? And also, like I said, I think it's cost the people in my life, because some people, it's like, I'm not serving you as a family member or a friend by just constantly giving into what you want. And then also, too, like, this is the thing, and this is the most unfortunate part. People never or rarely are like, dang, thank you so much for what you did, and realize, like, you went beyond yourself to do it. once you do it, they're just like, girl, fuck you. Girl, thanks, but fuck you. Like, whatever. And I think that's hard for me too, to realize, where it's like, it's never like, dang, thank you for doing this. Thank you for, like, you know what I'm saying, going the extra mile for me when you probably didn't have it to give. You probably didn't have it in you to do. You're facing your own battles, your own demons. It's like, no, girl, fuck you. Thank you for doing it, but fuck you. And that is hard for me. That right there is like, whoa. That's really how you feel. And so for me, I am aware of that now in a way that I haven't been before, and I think I see it a lot clearer now, where before I was kind of in denial about, like, oh no, that's not what it is. When I'm like, no baby, that's what it is. And that's hard, but it's a blessing. So basically, yeah, y'all, I've been gone because I was dealing with some hurt, I was dealing with some disappointment, and I was dealing with some heavy reflection. And the reflection that I was really dealing with is that I had to take inventory of my life, the people in my life, the place that I place people in my life, like the, I don't want to say hierarchy, but basically the hierarchy of people in my life, who I was prioritizing, who I was giving my energy to. And I had to really look and decide if where I was placing my energy was healthy for me. And I had to look and decide if my heart and my intention was being misused by people. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's anybody's intentions to hurt or misuse the people that they love. I just think that we get caught into cycles and patterns in all of our relationships that really kind of determines the dynamic at a certain point, where it's like this becomes the norm and we take on roles in our relationships. In every relationship, there becomes a role and a dynamic. And sometimes that role and that dynamic can serve people, and it can be something that goes on for decades. But then one day somebody wakes up and it's like, you know what, this no longer works for me. And I do think that's kind of what was happening for me, is it was like, this no longer works for me. And I have to figure out now what does and what that looks like. And so that's what I'm in the process of doing. In a lot of ways, it is a healing journey, because I'm having to have very uncomfortable conversations. I'm having to have very awkward conversations. I'm having to piss some people off because they're so used to me being no problem crystal. Then now it's like, well, wait a second, girl, we got beef. It's an issue. You said no. You don't want to do X, Y, and Z. And that is not super easy for people. They're kind of like, whoa, sis, like, hold up now, girl. Y'all, this is so funny because I literally never contour my nose, but here I am trying to. This is not even something I do normally. Like, why am I doing this, you know? But whatever. That's the point of makeup, to play in it. I think it's not feeling like so much pressure because I don't have foundation. So yeah, with that being said, I think that, you know, obviously it is a process for everybody in your life who loves you, because they're like, this is not what I'm used to. This is not who I'm used to. And I'm not sure how I feel about this shift, right? It's like, okay, well, who said I wanted to let you shift? Who said I wanted for you to be a different person? And that's okay. I know that it comes at a cost. But just at this point, I have to do what's right for me. And it's, you know, it's rocking the boat a little bit. But I can no longer put myself in a place where I feel used, or I feel taken advantage of, or I feel like my needs are not being met. I'm realizing that in this season of my life, my needs and my desires have to be priority for me. If they're not priority for me, who are they going to be priority for? Nobody. If I don't put myself first on my list, besides God, you know what I'm saying, God and then me, who's going to put me second on their list? Not even, God willing, when I meet my husband, will I be second on his list, probably. Because you should be the first on your list. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to take care of you for everything else to thrive. And maybe that's a toxic mindset. Maybe, like, let me know if you disagree in the comments. But I'm like, if I'm not my priority, then whose priority am I going to be? So, that's where I'm at with it. And it's going to be interesting. Hey y'all, so I just got back from my solo date dinner, and it was so great, y'all. I really needed to do that because I cannot tell y'all the last time that I went to a restaurant to eat. Like, it definitely has not been in a month and a half, a month at least. Like, it has not been. I've not been anywhere doing anything, so it was really nice to go by myself. I had a really good time. As soon as I walked in, like 5 minutes later, a lady walked in and she sat by me, and me and her ended up talking for a long time until her friends got there. And then once she left, then came in this like hot guy, y'all, and he sat by me and he was by himself. So I was like, oh my gosh, what if this is my husband? What if this is my future man? So he sat right next to me, and I'm like waiting for him to chit chat with me, but he like doesn't start a conversation. So then finally I'm like, F it, I'm gonna start a conversation. So then when he ordered, I was like, oh, what did you end up ordering? Like, what did you end up getting? And he was like, oh, he told me what he got, and we started chit chatting, y'all. He's nice, he owns a gym, but he's married. So I was like, keep it moving. But he told me, he was like, oh, I'm married, da, da, da. He mentioned his wife. So then I was like, okay, shout out to you, my guy. So anyway, he was not my husband. And then I'm disappointed because he was on this side, and then on the other side, another black man came in by himself. But I feel like, okay, I had already started the conversation with this one, and I wasn't gonna be there long enough because I had already like ordered everything, so I wasn't gonna be there long enough to continue, like, to start a conversation with the guy on this side. So I had to just be like, okay, gotta take the L. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I did. Now I'm just hanging out on the couch, hanging with Oreo. He's running around. I've had to refilm this about 3 times, y'all, because Oreo runs my life now, y'all. Having a dog is totally different. Nobody told me, baby, he runs my world. But yeah, I'm really glad I went out. I'm already feeling better. Like, today was already a day where I feel good because I worked out. I allowed my body to rest. And then I also went out and did something, you know, just different outside the house. I hadn't been to a restaurant in so long. Hadn't like sat and like got even this cute, which like to so many people this is like very basic, but for me, I haven't even put on makeup in a minute. So yeah, I felt really good. Anyway, yeah, y'all, bye.
Question, tell me what you think about me. I buy my own diamonds and I buy my own rings. Only ring your celly when I'm feeling lonely.